The Red Pill's main goals are the destruction of the Matrix, the liberation of humans, and rebuilding the world. These goals are frequently foiled by the sentinels that protect the human crop fields and the agents that protect the simulation. Morpheus explained to Neo that no one can be told what the Matrix is. They have to see it for themselves to understand it. Yet that is not entirely true. The reality is that red pills can reveal the truth to those still connected. So why don't they? Let's take a look at the reasons why the red pills do not reveal the truth to the blue pills. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
We must first understand that the people connected to the Matrix cannot know that they live in a simulation. We have cases of blue pills who have noticed errors in the simulation and have come into contact with Morpheus. Ex-blue pills like Kid, or humans like the artist who sculpted sentinels that she thought she saw in her dreams. Yes, Morpheus did tell Neo that no one can be told what the Matrix is.
Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
But then he contradicts himself by explaining what the Matrix is within a simulation.
What is the Matrix? Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world, built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
So then why? Why couldn't Morpheus just tell Neo what the Matrix was inside the Matrix, if he was still going to do so anyways inside the construct? The answer lies with Neo's connection to the Matrix. Neo being connected to the system made him susceptible to direct modifications or alterations. The machines could simply erase Neo's memories, or perhaps censor certain words or information related to the Matrix, making it difficult to understand what the Matrix is inside the simulation. And only by leaving the simulation is this restriction removed. By the end of Matrix Revolutions, millions of people were infected by Smith, yet the system was rebooted and everything went back to normal. Well, normal by Matrix standards. This means that the architect probably reset the Matrix and the minds of all the people within the simulation. Therefore, if someone like Morpheus showed the blue pills the real world, the architect could simply reboot the Matrix to make them forget. Recall that the architect mentioned that when a collapse occurs in the system, it can cause the deaths of all the humans connected to it.
Failure to comply with this process will result in a cataclysmic system crash, killing everyone connected to the Matrix.
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? It was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost.
So the red pills cannot tell the blue pills the truth, because there could be a protective measure to restart the system and or kill anyone that learns the truth. But if the red pills could wake up everybody, would they or should they? There is a fundamental issue in revealing the truth to an adult. Adults already have their ideals and beliefs. Revealing to an adult the truth that the world they have lived in was fake will cause an existential crisis that results in a fatal shock to the system. This is because the human brain cannot accept such a revelation. The person's heart cannot bear it. Humans plugged into the pods are fragile, and news of this caliber can certainly kill them. But there is another problem. Many of them are so system dependent that they won't want to wake up.
You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it.
As Morpheus said, many people will fight to protect the Matrix. Suppose that somehow the red pills manage to wake everyone up and destroy the simulation. Millions of people may want to return to the Matrix. It is the only place where they can live in some comfort, because the real world is hell on earth. So if the red pills destroy the Matrix, the blue pills might try to rebuild it. Another important question is, what are millions of people going to do after they wake up? Neo's recovery after waking up took several days and was closely monitored. He had to gain movement of his body and even his eyes. He required around-the-clock medical attention. Waking up millions of people would be a medical disaster, as there is not enough manpower to take care of that amount of patients. A humanitarian crisis on an epic scale, and many will not survive the transition. Another problem is where they will live. Zion houses at least 250,000 people. It's not big enough to shelter millions. Overpopulation is a problem. People will be fighting for food, shelter, medicine, clothing. Zion's system would collapse as it could no longer support human life, and the planet's surface is far from suitable to sustain life. The reality is that the real world can only barely support the number of people who are already freed. Now comes an interesting idea. What if this has happened before? What if humans were freed from the Matrix, but then decided to return? Maybe it happened in one of the previous Matrix cycles, and that's why Zion was created. We don't know if humanity has ever made a deal with the machines before, but the humans are conscious in the simulation, and the ones that left were given the opportunity to build a city in the real world, indicating that some sort of agreement might have taken place before. A big maybe. So the Red Pill's main goal is to destroy the Matrix, but they can't. Most of humanity needs to live in the Matrix to survive. The Red Pills would need hundreds of years at least to improve the Earth's living condition and then gradually integrate the Blue Pills into the real world, but only the young ones, as the adults cannot deal with the transition. It's the only logical way, otherwise, no one can be saved. No one in Zion has wondered what would happen if or when the war ended and millions of Blue Pills were released to the nightmare that is the real world. Nowhere to eat, nowhere to sleep. Humans depend on the machines, and this will not change unless the human world that their ancestors destroyed is repaired. But do you agree? What are the Red Pill's goals? Are they willing to risk the lives of all the humans connected to the Matrix just to win the war? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe, and thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.